Hello and welcome to Impact Africa, our online TV program where we celebrate and have conversation with diverse people and organizations who are impacting lives and communities positively. And as well, we use the program to celebrate, highlight events, places, and positive news. My name is Dr. Kemi Akiode Adebayo, known as Dr. Mama K, in today's program as we celebrate the month of October, which is what is called the Independence Month for Nigeria as a country, my birth country. So I am being a little bit partial today. We will be featuring two amazing guests that we had conversations with some times ago. And the two are Ambassador Adebola Ogutuga, who is a certified etiquette and image consultant of Consima Protocol and Finishing School, which is based in Nigeria and America. And the title of the conversation I had with him was Determination to Succeed, which basically is what he is about, what he has succeeded so much in his life. And as well, this young man, son, friend, mentor as well. Even though he's younger than me, I look at him as a mentor as well. Mr. Uzo Bailey Ayogu. He is the co-founder and CTO of Releaf, which is based in Nigeria. And the title of a conversation was Be Intentional. I think that's one of my favorite words this year, being intentional. Sometimes it hasn't worked, but most times it has worked. So yes, we celebrate Nigeria. Sometimes the news we hear about Nigeria is not so good, but I think that is changing all over the world. Nigeria gained independence from Great Britain on the 1st of October 1960. So that is why with today's event, as we start the month of October on Impact Africa, we want to celebrate Nigerian people in South Africa, in Africa, all over the world. So yes, let's start with the conversation I had with Ambassador Ogutuga, where I asked him, that he has had so much experience in life. What are some of the key lessons, for him over the years? Enjoy. What an interesting journey still. So over the years and what you've experienced and the challenges which you kind of gave on a few examples, some of which were with the diplomats and people working in the consul, the consul office and so on. We don't see, all these things and what, some of our ambassadors and so on experience. Can you share with us any kind of life lesson, that you have learned over the years? Just very quickly, because I know we could spend a whole program, on it. So whereby if you wanted to advise a young person who comes and meets you and say, oh, you know what, I want to become an ambassador, I want to become a diplomat, I want to work in the foreign service or whatever. So what are the life lessons, tips that you'll be able to give that person that has helped you personally?
Thank you for that question. I should start by saying, whatever you do in whatever profession, have a sense of vision and mission.
Okay.
Be focused and gain knowledge, because knowledge will give you confidence in whatever you do. Apart from having the confidence from God and wisdom from above, knowledge will give you that confidence, because you will be able to do or speak from position of strength.
Okay.
Position of strength you get from knowledge. So always educate yourself about what you are doing.
Right.
As I said earlier, whatever you do as unto God. Don't flurry, don't hurry, and don't worry. And that has been my motto.
Say the first word again.
Never flurry, never hurry, never worry. Because you can't change anything either by worrying. If you have to get somewhere early, leave home earlier. So you don't have to hurry. That's what I call people making motion without movement.
Right.
So don't hurry, don't flurry, don't worry.
Okay.
And don't worry, because everything will come together. If you know what you are doing. And it's important to do things right. I always enjoy, and maybe my knowledge of good manners, etiquette, and all of that tells me that when we do things in the right manner, we cannot, and with the spirit of excellence, we are bound. We can make mistake. We can make mistake.
Yes.
But we can correct ourselves even when such mistakes are made. So, and I always say that there is no mistake in protocol, for instance. You every situation, even where it appears to be a mistake, you turn to a new way of doing things. You are trying to experiment, and you find out that you come out strong. But what is essential is the sense of vision and mission, having focus. Be focused on whatever you do, and have this knowledge. Because knowledge, they say, is power.
Yes, power.
So be knowledgeable about whatever you do. And you excel in whatever area or profession or career.
It's applicable in all areas, basically. Those are deep. So now let's go from that to now Africa or Nigeria, which is my final question. In terms of social issues, like unemployment, poverty, crime, or anything, what social issues are you particularly concerned about, that maybe touches you personally? And rather than focus on the issues, what do you think are the solutions to that issue?
The solution, when you talk about Africa and you talk about social issues, one of the first things that comes to mind, or two things, is poverty. Poverty of the mind is there, and physical poverty is there. And what do you do about it? And my own belief is that, one, we need to get more people educated in Africa. Education is key. If you have to leave poverty behind, education is key. No what amount of money you give people, if they have this poverty of the mind, it will not impact them.
Right.
And a way to do that is for, again, in Africa, one of the problems we have is that the difficulties we get, if I can use Nigeria as an example, where you have unemployment, high rate of unemployment, and you'll find out what's the cause for this. My own answer to the problem is that government, one, is not creating the enable environment where competition will thrive. It's not creating wealth, because there should be a conscious, deliberate, intentional wealth creation. And it's it's the government that actually will set it in motion.
Okay.
Where others
Will now follow. Okay. So it's not, you're not saying it's only about what the government needs to do, but they need to intentionally set it in motion for others, to follow. So why are we not having
I think again is the way we are in Africa and particularly in Nigeria. People are no longer, when people are elected to the office, it's not a service they want to render. It is the selfish interest that drives them to politics, to government. And so you don't see the result of the kind of service that is expected in the country.
So
again, you have also the followers. And by followers, I will talk about people graduating from universities, from higher institutions, and coming out and saying they have no job. There are so many things you can engage yourself in. You don't have to wait for that big job, white collar job, before you get yourself employed. You can become an employer of labor, and you can start from a small beginning. Start from a small beginning, and there are enormous things for people to engage themselves in, particularly graduates. I'll give you an example. In 1983, 84, between 83, 84, I was in Lagos and I was living in Aguda. Again, a section in Lagos State. And early in the morning, a young man came to me and he introduced himself very early in the morning. And he said he's been there during the day and I'm not there. Maybe I've gone to work. And he realized that I leave home very early. So he came very early, before 6 o'clock. He knocked on my door and I said, "What is it? What are you looking for?" And he said he wanted to establish the collection of garbage. The garbage, and I will pay him. And the amount was talking. And I said, "Is that why you called?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "You don't have any other thing doing apart from this, collecting garbage? Why are you collecting garbage?" And he told me his story, that he finished as an engineer. And he had finished maybe 2 years before then.
No job.
And he thought about what to do. And he saw that the need of the environment was garbage. People throwing out garbage, and they wanted to collect it. Long story short, I gave him, he will bring the garbage bag and he collects twice a week. And that's it. In 9 months, he was using wheelbarrow at the beginning. In 9 months, he came to show me a brand new pickup.
Wow.
Brand new pickup.
Hmm.
And I said, in my mind, garbage collection, pickup. He could have sat down at home
Doing nothing.
Doing
But
nothing.
he took.
But he didn't mind
Yes.
that as an engineer,
No, there's
he's now
dignity in
collecting
labor.
garbage. There's dignity in labor. So people just have to think
They need to think outside the box.
outside the box. What do they need in my area?
And there's a lot
what
of
is
need.
lacking?
There's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of
And you find something to engage that will bring in income for you.
Wow. Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you, Ambassador Ogutuga. And I need to put this disclaimer out. Yes, he's my uncle, my blood uncle, my mother's brother. Yes. And yeah, thank you, Ambassador Ogutuga, for that snippet about what you said, that whatever you want to do, you need to focus and you need to gain knowledge, because knowledge will give you confidence. And I completely agree with you. There are so many things we said. But if you want to watch the full program, you need to go to the YouTube channel for Bold Moves Africa, which will share the details at the end of the program. Okay, the next segment and our next featured VVIP guest is none other than Mr. Uzo Bailey Ayogu, where I was asking him some of the success story for his organization, which is still very, not new, but still new in terms of what they've achieved. Enjoy. So for you, what are you mostly proud of at this stage? I know it's still, kind of work in progress, for you, but for somebody who left the comfort of a first world country to say, you know what, I'm going back, and the naysayers were there as well to drown with all the negatives, but you didn't give up. And what would you say are your success? What's your success story?
I think now we have over 100 employees. We've raised $4 million plus.
Wow.
If you analyze it, we're doing over $1 million in revenue. I have real confidence now. I can beat my chest and say I have a business model I really believe is fundamental.
Which you had to create.
Yeah.
For the market.
The years where food production is decentralized, right? It's driven by small farmers, but we don't have a food processing supply chain that supports that decentralized nature of production.
Okay.
So Releaf's goal is to make what we call cloud factories, or factories in a box, move them closer to the farmer, optimize the technology to process any quality crop the farmers produce, and turn it into very high grade input for these big FMCGs that can then process and meet the big consumer demand. And so we have a patent pending, and we can confidently say any palm nut farmers produce, we can process it. And so we really want to accelerate that agricultural-based industrial revolution in Nigeria, because we fundamentally believe that it is the most powerful way to move a significant number of people out of poverty by job creation, by dropping the cost of food because your supply chain is more efficient. Nigerians spend over 50% of all their disposable income on food. And so if you want to give people more money to invest in education, healthcare, even just recreation, you need to make the food system more efficient. And so by both us being able to scale and essentially deploy these factories all over West Africa, we'll be creating a lot of jobs, and at the same time,
have you moved into other parts of West Africa?
Not yet.
Okay, but that's part
on the roadmap.
Okay, all right.
So we're setting up our second factory now. First one is in Aquabum. Second one will be in Cross River. Third one will likely be in the middle part of the country. So using that funding to essentially scale our model. And like I said, we have 100 people who are on our payroll jobs being created. A lot of our manufacturing team members, initially when they start working with us, they're not literate, but slowly we give people access to different type of training to make them literate and digitally literate. So how to input things on Google Sheets, etc. So I think I'm very proud of being able to stick with it. And there's many more ups and downs. I think I owe a lot of that to just being very fortunate to find co-founders that we really be able to trust each other and
the
push
same
each other,
page.
have the same values through the difficult times, and have the same belief that
Yeah.
no matter what we encounter, we're going to get through. I had amazing investors who also believed in us when there was nothing really there. And then we've been able to hire really good people who have been able to take our vision and our mandate and like it's their own and kind of drive it forward.
Awesome.
Because it's very difficult to find good people. So
Awesome.
they're
Well
very
done.
valuable.
So what motivates Uzo? What keeps you going? What is your why?
Yeah, I think if you just look at how Africans and really black people have been treated through the last few centuries, it's been terrible. And we see a lot of individual successes, people doing much better in these last couple decades. But I really feel like, in this century, we're gonna see like African Renaissance, where it's no longer, us going to other people, asking for respect, or you see what the global community did to South Africa with this Omicron variant, where it will just be evident because you see the innovation that's coming out of Africa. There's no more just destitute poverty. People are living in a dignified way. We're exporting not just culture, which is a great export now, but different products, and not just raw products, but processed products. And so I feel like my why is Africa first in this century, where we really have a renaissance, and we can really be proud and say what we've built and our people are in a place of dignity. So I really feel like I've been given that's my why I've been put on this earth, and with the gifts that God has given me to kind of play a role in that progression as we get towards 2100 over the next 80 years. So I do believe the next few decades are very critical as we reach kind of population takes off, but infrastructure is not there yet. So either be a gift or a curse. So we're hoping to make it a gift. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, yes, such a young organization. So Releaf started in 2015, and by January 2022, they already have 100 employees and have raised $4 million and more dollars. Kudos to you, Uzo, and Ikena, and your original third co-founder, Azaya, for seeing the vision, for Africa through what you're doing with Releaf. And we continue to wish you all the best. Keep impacting lives, not just in Nigeria, in Africa, and in the world as a whole. So, yes, that is all we've got time for today. Our dear two guests, Ambassador Ogutuga and Mr. Ayogu. If you want to check more about the full conversation I had with them, where you will learn one thing or the other, please check our Bold Moves Africa on YouTube, Facebook, and other platforms that we use to broadcast. I can't wait to share more stories of some of the people and what they're doing in Nigeria, in Africa as a continent, and in the world as well. So yes, as we continue to celebrate the independence of Nigeria, which was on the 1st of October 1960, we celebrate all Nigerians who are doing amazing work and being great ambassadors of the country called Nigeria. So my challenge to you is find a Nigerian or find some information about Nigeria that you don't know. Google is your friend, as they say in Nigeria. So yes, learn more about Nigeria, our people, our food and language and so on. Till next time, this is me, Dr. Mama K, saying stay safe, stay blessed, love you all.